Hello, guys. Day 2 of the MLK Classic coming to you live from Spa Catholic High School in beautiful downtown Saratoga Springs. Saratoga Racers taking on the visiting Rochester Royal Ballers. I'm Brett Porter on the horn, Eric Picard, the cameraman and production guy today. Racers lost one to dropped one to number two ranked Buffalo Extreme. Now we have our best Michael Buffer impression going on. We'll get back to you after the announcements and the national anthem. Rochester Royal Ballers. Rochester Royal Ballers playing with a pretty limited roster so far. We only have a total of Rochester Royal Ballers. As people are just getting to their seats a little late in the program, as the lineups are being announced. Rochester Royal Ballers only playing with an 8-man lineup. It's going to be really hard for anyone to get any meaningful rest here. Total of 8 players, and the 8 being a late addition to Kelsey Hoyt, number 13. It's a late addition. Less than 10 minutes before game start. Tobias Holmes, of course, a very crucial piece of the Saratoga Racers starting lineup. The man was an absolute unit from the 3 feet, from beyond the arc. Of course, Isaiah Grandison, number 17, the 6'9" forward out of Sakaste High School. Said earlier, Racers dropping a close one to number 2 ranked Buffalo Extreme last night. I ended up at one point being up by as almost double digits, ended up losing by 8. Just game just slipped away from 'em. Now Rochester Royal Ballers, you don't want to rule anyone out, especially before tip off. But once again, we're talking about a significant man disadvantage here. A team with 8 players, the eighth only being a very recent addition. Well, let's get ready for tip off. We'll have to see how it goes. Sean Miles looking like calling some shots before tip off. Shaheem Sanders wins the tip off, but number zero, right off the rip, that is George Graham. George Graham immediately draws first blood. RJ Russell with the pass from Sanders to answer back. Quick point scored, 5 points scored in only 20 seconds to play. Was Brown. Some movement. Oh, that's a quick movement from number 11, Jason Hawks. And now we've got 12. From 12, Giovanni Brown was looking to get something off, but no good. Skates off of the back of the rim. Now Saratoga ball. Tobias Holmes behind the arc. Grandison giving it back to Holmes. Looked like he was going to shoot for that 3. Looks like it just hit off the foot of a Royals defender. Is that 3? That 3 is up. That 3 is no good. That's George Graham. No good from beyond the arc. Tobias Holmes now trying to find something. Takes a step into the paint. Takes a shot. And it's up, and it's, of course, no good. Zach Scott trying to find someone, finds an open Hawks. Hawks looked like he was going to drive in the paint. Does. And that floater is no good. Riles on the rebound. Riles giving it to Shaheem Sanders. Sanders immediately dished it out to Tobias Holmes, and Holmes gets the Saratoga Racers' first 3 of the night. What you looking at? RJ Russell just getting a 4-pointer just now. Shaheem Sanders was trying to tell the PA that it was Tobias Holmes who got the 3. And RJ Rosa again, just getting right in there, floats it up. Looks like there's a little bit of chip on that, but Shaheem Sanders comes down with the board, and that's with the first timeout. That's timeout Rochester. As we get to our first commercial break. And without our sponsors, none of this could be possible, including Adirondack Orthodontics. We just missed the dentist's favorite time of the day. That's 2:30. Of course, BBL Hospitality. For all of your hospitality hotel needs, your local CJD of Clifton Park. And DeAndrea's Pizza. Some good pizza in downtown Saratoga. So yeah, 11-3. 9:42 to go in the first. We've only had 2 minutes and 18 seconds of basketball, and the Racers have an 8-point lead on Rochester. That's 11 unanswered points, might I add. Zach Scott dishing it to Hawks. Hawks from under the rim. It's gonna gives that one to George Graham. George Graham's no good. They're gonna call that out of bounds on Rochester. It's Grandison giving it to Tobias Holmes. Holmes to Riles. Riles finding Shaheem Sanders right outside the paint. Finding RJ Rosa back to Holmes. And that knee looks like it got kneed, but got some Got some smart basketball. There it is. It looked like a it looked like a bounce. Look at it bounced off the knee of of someone from Rochester. George Graham went to try and like intercept it. John Riles, that shot is up from way beyond the key. No good. Now after a little bit of rebound mania, Racers good for another two. George Graham. George Graham surrounded by both Holmes and Rosa. Able to get it off. As John Riles trying to play some B, gets caught up. Giovanni Brown getting fouled on that play. He's gonna has the opportunity to make this a 3-point play. And thus ends the Saratoga Racers 13 unanswered points. Giovanni Brown's shot is up and it's good. That ball's going to go out of bounds. Riles. Riles thrown in, inbounded by Holmes. Holmes being double teamed. Being double teamed by Rochester. That ball's going to go out of bounds. Holmes trying to find Grandison. Well, Hawks gets in the way of that. Giovanni Brown was going up for one. Good. On that rebound. Get some points. Now 13-8 with 8:15 to go in the first. Tobias Holmes now trying to answer some points of his own. Finds an open RJ Rosa. Rosa faked like he was going for the three, instead lays that up. Floats it in for two. Racers with a 7-point lead with 8 to go. Zach Scott jumping that one off. Found an open Jason Hawks, but you have to be as tall as Todd Spotswood to be able to get that one. Now John Riles throwing in. Inbounded by Tobias Holmes. Holmes dished it off to Grandison. Pass to Rosa, but that's picked off. That's picked off by George Graham, excuse me. And he's going to draw a foul from Isaiah Grandison. And he's going to get some shots from the line. Shots up. Shots good. We're going to take a quick media timeout, as the referees have pointed out for the crowd. Just real quick before we get into thanking our sponsors, I'd like to thank our friends Josh Green at Altered Apparel for providing the Saratoga Racers with the shooting shirts that you've seen them practicing in yesterday and for the early part of today's broadcast. All of those shirts are actually being silently auctioned. So if you find a player that you like, feel free to make your way to Spot Catholic High School. Just write down your name, number, and a dollar amount, and that shirt could be yours. I myself put a bid on John Riles' jersey because I'm a fan. But that being said, without our sponsors, none of this would be possible, including, of course, Franklin Hospitality Group. Contact Franklin Hospitality Group for all your hospitality needs. G&S Printing for all of your custom work. And of course, Greenwich Ford. Ford, of course, there's on race day. Let's go Racers. And KS Squared Construction, established in 2017. So we get back to the action. 7:41 to go. Racers 15, Ballers 9. George Graham has one more shot at the free throw line after being fouled by Grandison. And that one is good. Royal Ballers officially enter double-digit territory. Tobias Holmes finding an open Rosa. Back to Holmes. Riles gets it, even though he got some hands on it. The Royal Ballers have been getting their hands on almost every pass Zach Scott goes up. That shot's no good. Rebounded immediately. Just full set back to RJ Rosa. John Riles faking them out. And that is good. Three. John Riles faked out two. Rochester ballers on there. And still hit him with the three. Zach Scott now. Finding open Brown. Holmes to Spotswood. Spotswood giving it back to Todd Spotswood. Once again, I cannot say this enough. 6'10" center out of Herkimer. Just an absolute unit. A man of size if ever was any. Zach Scott's three-point attempts up, no good. The Spotswood basically was put on almost as a gadget for a lot of plays because let me reiterate, he's a 6'10" center. His job is to be big and get in the way. That's Tobias Holmes. So wide open John Riles. Shots up, no good. Riles going to get called for that foul there. As Rochester inbounding it. Giovanni Brown giving it off to Zach Scott. Zach Scott looks like he was going to march up in the paint. Pass it off to Rodney Johnson. Rodney Johnson's shots up. He's so good. And Spotswood's going to get a finger on it. Shaheem Sanders. Pass it to Rosa. Back to Sanders. Finding an open Tobias Holmes to RJ Rosa. That three-pointer is no good. Shaheem Sanders coming down with it. Giving it back to Rosa. Breeze Williams going to be called on that foul. Tobias Holmes. Will be tasked with the passing it in. Finds the 6'10" Spotswood. And 2 rebounds in a row. Saratoga races to cover, and neither of them manages to go in. It's Tobias Holmes. Good for 3, right up. A 2 from and 2. Saratoga Racers 13-point lead with 5:35 to go, 23-10. As George Graham going up. Fine Spotswood. George Graham looked like he was clinging onto the leg of. He was clinging on the leg like a son asking his dad not to go into work for the day. Tobias Holmes now calling a play from backcourt. Tobias Holmes find someone, of course, easy to find the widest open Spotswood. Oh God, you want to see Todd Spotswood just jump one. You want to see him. Oh, Spot Catholic a new backboard, but did not score once last game. Spotswood now has the opportunity. There's 2 shots from the free throw line. Spotswood's first shot is up and no good. Yes. Spotswood, the next shot coming up. First one's up. First one's no good. 2 shots from the line, no points scored. Rochester ball. Giovanni Brown scanning. He's marching up in the paint. He actually floats it over Todd Spotswood, but the shot does not go in. Hits the back of the glass. Now, John Riles just one shoe on the boundary line, just enough to be called out of bounds. It's Rochester ball again. Brown with a well-executed screen there. That's good for 3. It's good for 3. Now it's a 10-point game, 4:45 to go. Tobias Holmes sitting behind Todd Spotswood. Todd Spotswood, one of the most ambitious moving walls I've ever seen in my life. As Rochester gets a piece of that, with TJ Jenkins dishing it quick to John Riles. And John Riles' shot is up and good. Looks like they're not. So it looks like Riles' points not going to count there. The Rochester ball still a 10-point game, 4:29 to go. Giovanni Brown in the backcourt. Joey Harden just getting into the game. Chaston covering him. And quick off the glass, Kelsey Hoyt bounces one in. That's good for two. Now just a single-digit deficit for Rochester. They are giving Rochester giving Joey Harden a really hard time there. Big double team. They couldn't get away with it. TJ Jenkins on the rebound, finds Tobias Holmes. Looks like Jenkins hopefully just fell. You don't ever want it to be something super physical like that. As Tobias Holmes being lightly guarded by Giovanni Brown, dishes to Riles. Tough. I know being a big man like Todd Spotswood, you are going to draw a foul really no matter what. Sizes up 6'10" center out of Herkberg. His job is to box people out. Box people out, use his fouls to his advantage. Todd Spotswood, finally, Todd Spotswood gets some points. And that's good for two. And Spotswood has an opportunity to make this a 3-point play. Saying Todd Spotswood is center. He is going to be drawing fouls. That's what big men do. They're supposed to be there for screens, supposed to be there to box people out. If you could see Todd Spotswood standing next to the rest of his team, the only person close in his height is Isaiah Grandison. Although not to say Bob Kylerwood's a man of size too. Makes sense being a basketball coach, probably had many a decade in the industry. Todd Spotswood, man. Very definitely a very I don't want to quite say one-trick pony performer, but he's very good at getting in the way. And that's really what you need him for. So as you just tuning in, 3:36 to go in the first quarter. Racers 25, Royal Ballers 15. I'm Brett Porter. This is a Nivant Media production. Your Saratoga Racers coming to you live from Spa Catholic High School. Spotswood now. Spotswood turn this into a 3-point play. Spotswood shots up, and that just floats right at the 3-point play. Giovanni Brown with the pass from Hawks. Brown fighting. Oh, he was unguarded, but Rodney Johnson could not get that 3-pointer down. That's from underneath his own basket. Williams gets it off to TJ Jenkins. Gives it to the safety net, Todd Spotswood. And Todd Spotswood floating that one in too, and he's going to draw. Looks like he's going to draw another foul. It goes like that. Spotswood has an opportunity to make this yet another 3-point play. Calls him at Breeze Williams. TJ Jenkins. TJ Jenkins is kind of hobbling off the court. Not figuring out what's going on with that. RJ Rosa backhanded. And Spots. That one's up. That one's good. That's 6 points in a row for Spotswood. 29-15 with 3:10 to go. Rodney Johnson being covered by Donovan Williams. He's going to drive up in the paint. And he's going to find an open man. And that 3 shot is up and it goes way over. Spotswood there to recover. Hands it off to Donovan Williams. Williams finding Spotswood in the paint. And that's good for another two. Todd Spotswood's got 8 points in this game so far. 2:44 to go in the first. Giovanni Brown. Look, goes from between the leg stuff. And once again, Spotswood fishing that one off. And Joey Harden looked like he was going to finish that one. But just kind of floats it right over. See if he can redeem it. That's good. That fall on George Graham's going to put just like that. Joey Harden is going to the free throw line. 34-15, 2:27 to go. And the first. Harden once again for the third possession in a row. Opportunity to make this a 3-point play. And that is up, and it's good. All right, after a little bit of confusion from the line, Zach Scott is going to drive over the paint. Finds Spotswood. Floats past Spotswood. That's up, and that's good. That's good for two. For Rochester, Donovan Williams position up to R.J. Rosa. Back to Williams. Williams. Look at that. What a dunk, right? You love to see that. The Todd Spotswood just really coming into his own there. With a beautiful, beautiful pass work from Donovan Williams on that play. 36-17, buck 53 to go. First. Donovan Williams, you throw it in. Finding an R.J. Rosa going up for three, and that skates off the front of the rim. Right into the hands of Zach Scott. Scott now going for a jumper. As Joey Harden comes down with that rebound after the miss. Dishes off to Spotswood. Spotswood, he's going to do what he does best. That's drive up the paint, but that shot's no good. That's rebounded by Giovanni Brown. That ball's going to go out of bounds. And that's going to be Rochester's ball. Number 7, Breeze Williams passed it in. Inbounded by Zach Scott. And that 3-point attempt is up. Skates in and out of the rim. It's no good. Donovan Williams. Now, dish off to Jamar Joseph, but it's going to be out of bounds. That's all right. Williams with the quick pass from Jamar Joseph. This is a Harden under the paint. R.J. Rosa faked like he was going for the three. Dish this one off to Jamar Joseph, and Jamar Joseph does not come down with it as the sea of ballers. Giovanni Brown. Giovanni Brown. Throwing that one up there quick for two. Got less than a minute to go. As R.J. Rosa ropes one in for three. That's a 20-point game with 40 seconds to go in the first. The Rochester Royals are going to take their first full timeout. And with that, we'll take a moment to thank our sponsors. Without them, this broadcast could not be possible. Lansingburg Boys and Girls Club, the official practice location for your Saratoga Racers. NYVT Media. It's the reason you can hear us and see us broadcasting as we speak. PA Medical Supply. And last but certainly not least, Pinnacle Roofing Incorporated with one of my favorite slogans in advertising. Hey, we've got you covered. 40 seconds to go in the first. Racers up off to an impressive 20-point lead. To the Rochester Royal Ballers 19. Getting a lot more production out of Todd Spotswood than it's proving he can be more than just a wall. Now that he looks like he's dialed in some of his shootings. He knows what to do. Play, go hard in the paint. It's exactly what centers are built to do. It's Rochester throwing it in. T-Body Brown now just beyond the arc. Loses grip of it and finds Spotswood. Jamar Joseph now driving up. And that's Hawks. Zach Scott's got a piece of that. Now Giovanni Brown. Dish it back, Scott. Dishing it back to the corner. Got 12 seconds to come up with a play. As Rodney Johnson goes up for a shot. Rodney Johnson. Rodney Johnson gets looks like what's more of a draw than an foul, but that's not for me to decide. Rodney Johnson get 2 shots from the free throw line, with 6.9 seconds to go. Just like to reiterate when we hear the colorful language of any and all people on as part of this basketball program, please understand they do not reflect the thoughts and opinions of NYVT Media. Rodney Johnson's second shot is up. It's good. Williams giving it to RJ Rosa with just enough time left to bang out one 3-pointer. And at the end of one first, Saratoga Racers 39, Rochester Royal Ballers 20. Well, while we wait for the second quarter to open up, we'll take another quick opportunity to thank our sponsors, including the Shot Spot Shooting Facility. Work on that mid-range jumper you always promised yourself you would at the Shot Spot. Stewart Shops. Stewart Shops, of course, known for their excellent milk, award-winning ice cream. Both Philly Vanilla and Peanut Butter Pandemonium have won national titles. Stewart Shops. Hotel Trilogy. The hotel chain's so nice, they named it thrice. Looks like we're getting just about ready underway. The officials in the middle talking about maybe where they want to go for dinner after this. As this a Sunday afternoon game. If you guys haven't noticed, off in the distance, Saratoga Racers have acquired one cheerleader, which does not sound like a lot, but when you think of all the other ABA League teams that have made their way through Spot Catholic High School, who have all had collectively 0 cheerleaders, the fact Saratoga Racers have one is an impressive statistic. Coach Bob Catherwood always just sounds like he's mad. Maybe giving that last second pep talk to Sanders, Spotswood, Rosa, Harden, and the rest of the gang. Just reminding me, of course, the owner, your owner of the Saratoga Racing Youth Harrington, reminding me about the about the silent auction for the John Rouse jerseys. I am 3/4 away from winning it unless someone else wants to bid. As Joey Harden finds Rosa in a little bit and some deep coverage, finds Spotswood in a sea of ballers. And on the rebound, Shaheem Sanders pokes at it, and that's good for 2. Shaheem Sanders off of the rebound from Spotswood. As George Graham finds an open Scott. Zach Scott floats one up from just beyond the paint. That's good for two. All right, Donovan Williams with some pretty deep coverage from George Graham. 0-on-0. Both 0 and 0 fall down. George Graham taking a little longer to get up. Scratch that. That was not George Graham. Apologies on that. That was not George Graham. That was number 11, Jason Hawks. Rochester ball, 11-10 to go in the half. Ronnie Brown floats one up. That's good for two. As Isaiah Grandison back in. Jumps it off to Tobias Holmes quick. Jim Sanders posts up a block. Finds John Riles. Grandison now from almost in the corner. Rosa drives up in the paint. Does blowing up, and that's no good. Rosa now trying to chase down Brown. Grandison trying to create some interference. And one way or the other, that 3-point misses. Tobias Holmes now finding a Shaheem Sanders in the corner. Pretty sure Jason Hawks just screamed at Shaheem Sanders as he went for the shot. Either way, it was up and it was no good. Ronnie Brown passing it to Zach Scott. Zach Scott passing it off and finding Rodney Johnson. And R.J. Rosa, it looked like it was passed right to R.J. Rosa as he goes to alley-oop something to Riles, but Riles does not follow through. But Zach Scott follows through with a 3-pointer from deep. 14-point game with 10 to go. Riles trying to find an open man, finding Sanders. Shaheem Sanders' shot misses. Rebounded by Grandison. Grandison's shot misses too. And Shivani Brown. This is going to find Zach Scott back to Brown. And Giovanni Brown tries to do it himself. No good. Jonathan Riles getting possession of that. Riles trying to do some pretty fancy stuff. Shaheem Sanders can't finish. Giovanni Brown going up for the shot and going to get blocked. Giovanni Brown's going to get 2 from the line. Giovanni Brown's first shot is up and good. Shaheem Sanders going to take a breather as the human tree, Todd Spotswood coming back in. The Giovanni Brown second shot up and good. 9:17 to go. It's a 12-point game. Tobias Holmes finding R.J. Rosa. R.J. Rosa puts one in the chamber and shoots and does not make it. It looked good. Quick snap, but didn't turn anything. George Graham looked like he was going for 3. Instead, sending it off to the corner. And that 3 is good. No coverage on that whatsoever. Zach Scott taking another 3-pointer. Tobias Holmes playing slow. Waiting for Spotswood to set up some kind of block. As Tobias Holmes goes for a deep 3, and that 3 is no good. Shivani Brown. Grandison and Riles trying to get something out of him. It's R.J. Rosa playing a little bit of interference on Zach Scott. So that 3-pointer's up and no good. And the battle of rebounds, Grandison comes down with it. Grandison's going to drive up. The Grandison shot's no good. It's Rodney Johnson dishing that one off to. Oh, no. Good. Dish that one off to Zach Scott. He did not come down with it. George Graham with a steal off Tobias Holmes. George Graham going to go for 3 of his own, and that's good. So after figuring that out, they've just determined that was not a 3. That was a 4-pointer. He was beyond the line. That's a 4-point play. The Royal Ballers, who were down 19 at the start of the quarter, now just 5-point lead. Saratoga Racers have only scored 2 points in the second so far. Let's see what if Bob Kyler was making any adjustments. So as it currently sits, John Riles, that's going to be inbounded by R.J. Rosa. He's pumping, he's moving. And he's going to drive one up. That's good for himself. R.J. Rosa floats it in. Hopefully getting some momentum back on the side of the Saratoga Racers. Because Rodney Johnson goes up, and that one's no good. Reese Williams laying it up over Todd Spotswood. Once again, 5-point game as the ball goes out of bounds. Ball goes out of bounds off of Zach Scott, off of the forehead of the official. Rosa giving it to Spotswood. Spotswood dishing it off to Riles. And they're going to call George Graham. Well, George Graham on a foul for that. And that quick, this lightning fast pass home. That's good for another 3 points. Rodney Johnson somehow holding on to that one. Rodney Johnson can go up for 3 of his own, and that's good. Answering 3 for 3. Tobias Holmes to Rodney Johnson. Tobias Holmes with possession again. He's going to drive up in the paint. He's going to try and float one up, and that one goes in and out of the basket. No good. Spotswood recovering it. And just delicately sets it in. To 48-41 with 6:39 to go in the half. As R.J. Rosa come out, plucks it from Rodney Johnson. Fish it up, John Riles. Riles floats that one in for another 2. Zach Scott, seemingly almost uncovered. Went for the 3. 3 was no good. George Graham trying to pluck that ball out of Tobias Holmes' hands. Floats it over to Brownie Brown. Well, R.J. Rosa dribbled it out of bounds. Brown trying to get past R.J. Rosa with the help of a screen. Shaheem Sanders pulling that one in. Dished off to Riles quick. Now R.J. Rosa tried giving it to Spotswood. Spotswood's still down over there. Spotswood's still down. Looks like he's holding his nose, or it's either holding his nose or his eye. We don't know. Rodney Johnson claiming that they bumped heads. Try to figure out a little more of what's going on, but Spotswood is very slow to get up. Keith Harrington coming to the rescue, checking in. Keith Harrington, of course, not just being an owner, being a friend too. He's still fine. So Elijah Nisbet was getting ready to be sent in to take Spotswood's place, but tell him no, you sit back down. I'm good. Well, from this angle, it looked like he was holding on to his eyes or his nose. 50-41 with 5:39 to go in the game. And that's going to be Saratoga ball. John Riles throwing it in, and that's inbounded by R.J. Rosa. Rosa tried passing it to Todd Spotswood, but Spotswood just did not look like he was on the same page there for that. It's George Graham trying to get past Rosa, dish it off to Johnson. Johnson's going to go up, and that's no good. Tobias Holmes ultimately one coming down with that rebound there. Great defense by R.J. Rosa, who now getting the ball in transition and leave it the same standard for finish that R.J. Rosa started. That's good for 2 more points for the Racers. 5 minutes to go. As Breeze Williams Presley went up, no good. Tobias Holmes finding John Riles. John Riles from the corner. That's good. Look at that. That's John Riles. Good for another 3. Giovanni Brown going for 3 of his own, and that one's up and no good. Hits the back of the rim, back of the glass. And Todd Spotswood just got nutmegged. George Graham through the 5-hole. Todd Spotswood to Breeze Williams. Rosa passes it off to Spotswood. Spotswood to Riles. That shot's no good. Now, Rochester ball. Giovanni Brown trying to make something happen. Passes to George Graham. And that 3-pointer from Graham is up and no good. Giovanni Brown coming down the rebound. That's good for 2. It's a 10-point game with 4 minutes to go. R.J. Rosa passing it off to Tobias Holmes. Looked like we had a little bit of a hold there. Should might have been just for the sake of a substitution, but Zach Scott. Zach Scott had his arm around Todd Spotswood's waist like he ran out of data ideas for senior prom there. And with that in mind, as we enter last media timeout of the quarter, take a quick moment to thank some of our sponsors who make this broadcast possible, including Adirondack Orthodontics. Hey Eric, what's a dentist's favorite time? 2:30. I'm gonna keep saying it. 2:30. Eric Picar, producer, the man behind the camera, making everything possible. BBL Hospitality. Your local Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram dealership of Clifton Park. And DeAndrea's Pizza. Franklin Hospitality Group. No, let's get one more in. We got room. We got time for one more. G&S Printing. All of your custom needs. Vinyl decals, shirts, things of that like. G&S Printing. So it's got a 10-point game with 3:47 to go in the half. Momentum's kind of been shifting back and forth here. At the start of the quarter, as I said, Racers were up 39 and the Ballers 20. Now, overall, the Ballers have eroded it 9 points of that deficit. Still a double digit deficit, say that 10 times fast, but it does seem like Rochester has been keeping it close, so to speak, especially, and I cannot emphasize this enough, their 8-man roster. No shortage of playing minutes for anybody involved. Tobias Holmes. The pass inbounded by James Sanders. Sanders finding Harden after being double covered. Back to Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes' shot is blocked by Giovanni Brown. And now Rodney Johnson driving up the paint. There's going to go. And Rodney Johnson going to get two from the line. You're going to call Tobias Holmes on that. His first of the game. And Rodney Johnson's first shot is up, and it is good. And shot number two. 2 for 2. Both shots up, both shots good. Tobias Holmes dishing it off to Joey Harden. Back to Holmes to Spotswood. And Spotswood's gonna smack one off the right side of the glass. That's up and good. 3:15 to go. 10-point game. Racers 57 ballers 47. George Graham driving up, finds Johnson. Johnson doesn't come down with that three, but Giovanni Brown comes down with the rebound. Reese Williams go for a three of his own, and that's no good. Todd Spotswood on that rebound. Joey Harden to Riles. Shot. And it looks like they're going to. They got him for picking on that. Foot cannot touch the basketball. Got that off the foot of Giovanni Brown. John Riles. A little bit of quick switcheroonie magic. Good for another two. As Brown now trying to march up on his own, and no good. Spotswood getting in the way as much as he could. Riles passing that one off to Harden. Harden finds Spotswood. Spotswood finds Riles marching up the paint. And Riles is going to be called. Riles is going to get two shots from the line. That's a call. That's a call. Number 11, Jason Hawks on that play. John Riles, two shots at the line. First one going up, and that's good. Nothing but net, baby. That's John Riles. Also good. 2 for 2 on those. Jonathan Williams stepping in for Tobias Holmes for the time being. Giovanni Brown dishing it to Breeze Williams, finding Zach Scott. Zach Scott's shot is up and no good. Joey Harden getting away with it. Donovan Williams looking like he's going to go for one from beyond the arc. No good. James Sanders. James Sanders on the rebound. Once again, just kind of almost like sets it like it's a game of volleyball. Giovanni Brown. Giovanni Brown marching up in the paint. And that shot's so good. Riles coming down with that. Finds Harden. James Sanders still comes down with that, but Jason Hawks got a piece of it. 65-47 with a $1:24 to go in the half. Giovanni Brown dishing it off to George Graham. George Graham goes for a shot. That's no good. Spotswood coming down with it. Finds Sanders. And John Riles had all the time in the world to go for that three, and it sure was no good. And for a split second, you would have thought John Riles trying to set his feet to take a charge. But no good. Watch the ball. A minute to go in the half. George Graham. George Graham on Donovan Williams, 0-0. And he's going to get past Williams. There's Jason Hawks. Dishes it off. Dishes it off to Zach Scott. And with that foul, opportunity for that to be a 3-point play. That's Elijah Nisbet. It's a the forward, out of Hudson Valley Community College. Which really three. Scott. This one shot at the line. And that shot's up and no good. Now Joey Harden. Give it to Sanders. Sanders, shots up, shots good. And the official's going to talk things over for half a second, but from what it looked like, Sanders managed to draw the foul and make the basket. And looks like the coaching staff from Rochester looking for some clarification. Not really finding all too much, seems. Of course, Bob Catherwood, you can always count on him for being a loud presence from the Saratoga bench. The one cheerleader at Spa Catholic High School, hard at work here. From my knowledge, we are currently the Saratoga Race being the only ABA team to have and having cheerleader Sheen Sanders getting ready to take his one shot from the line. Sanders. Shots up. That's good. Close to right. With 39.1 to go, it's a 19-point game going into the half. Giovanni Brown. Distance it off to Skip. Oh, that happened so fast. How do you even keep up with it? Riles got the 3-point play there. That's Zach. Giovanni Brown passed it off to Zach Scott. Riles just stuck up and stole that back from him. It looks like he just did it again. And Donovan Williams to Shaheem Sanders. Look at that. 2 plays in a row. John Riles just picking them off mid-pass. 15 seconds to go in the half. 24-point game. It's George Graham and Donovan Williams on top of each other. And they get away with it again. Joey Harden going up. And that's no good. Donovan Williams, Donovan Mitchell's a basketball player in the NBA. But it looked like they're about to get another quick shot in transition. But 4.5 to go. It's going to be Royal Ballers ball. 4 seconds to go. Giovanni Brown going up. John Riles gets called. It's going to be his 4th foul of the game. Playing rather physical. Normally not the kind of the brand of basketball he's used to playing. It's Zach Scott, number 23. Throwing it in. Giovanni Brown gets a shot off in time, but it's so good. So good. At the end of 24 minutes of ABA basketball, your Saratoga Racers 73, Rochester Royal Ballers 49. We'll get back to you after quick commercial break. While we put some ads up on the screen, please feel free to enjoy some kids basketball. I believe we got members of the Hartford Elementary School who are going to be putting on your halftime show for Saratoga Racers basketball. Come to you live from Smart Catholic. I'm Brett Porter and Eric Picard behind the camera, in charge of all the production. We will talk to you again soon after halftime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back coming to you live from Spa Catholic High School, your home for the Saratoga Racers. Currently up by 24 points, 73 to the Rochester Royal Ballers, 49. Compared to yesterday's game against Buffalo, we're seeing a lot more productivity out of Todd Spotswood and the bench being utilized a little bit more. With Donovan Williams, Jamar Joseph, and even for a brief minute, Elijah Nisbet getting some minutes. Starting lineups for the second half. Got Tobias Holmes, Shaheem Sanders, John Riles, RJ Rosa, and Isaiah Grandison. For the Ballers, Breeze Williams, Jason Hawks, Giovanni Brown, Rodney Johnson, and Zach Scott. Tobias Holmes. Dishing it off to RJ Rosa quick. Who gives it off to Grandison. Grandison was going for Sanders, but picked off in traffic. RJ Rosa tried to stop Brown from scoring there, but RJ Rosa was not enough. RJ Rosa now with the ball. Looked like he was about to fall over. Rodney Johnson was just heard getting his first team foul. Riles throwing it in. Inbounded by Tobias Holmes. Holmes hit him with a spin move. A little behind the back to John Riles. That shot's up. That shot's good. And that's good. John Riles right from the corner. Can't get much better than that. As Giovanni Brown answers for the three in the zone. 22-point game with only a minute into the third. As Tobias Holmes joins the scoring party. That's good for three. Tobias Holmes. Zach Scott. Zach Scott now. Possession for the Ballers. Going for a fadeaway. And it fades into obscurity as Tobias Holmes. With the ball, distance to Riles to Rosa. Rosa to Sanders to Grandison. Isaiah Grandison. The shot goes up. It's no good. Hits off the back edge of the rim. Giovanni Brown trying to make something happen. Zach Scott was trying to do his best attempt at setting up a screen. Shots up and no good. Tobias Holmes on the rebound. Give it to John Riles. Riles jumping into traffic. Isaiah Grandison coming back with it. John Riles now going up for another shot, and that's Now, would you look at that? John Riles starting off the second half red hot for the Saratoga Racers. Number 11, Jason Hawks. Passing it off to Rodney Johnson. Johnson trying to drive up the middle. That shot's up. That shot's good. Shaheem Sanders dishing it to Tobias Holmes. Rodney Johnson trying to play some defense. Sanders setting up a moving screen. As Tobias Holmes goes up for another shot of his own. And that it's going to air over the rim and out of bounds. No, Zach Scott going to be marching up to pay himself. That's so good. Zach Scott is going to get an opportunity at the free throw line. So Isaiah Grandison is his third foul of the game. Right now, the Racers sitting comfortably at a 26-point lead, 82 to the Rochester Royal Ballers. 50, now 50. 25-point lead. 9:21 to go in the third. Zach Scott second shot up and good. That's Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes is driving up. Running right past an open Rosa. James Sanders ripping that one out to Grandison. He fakes it to Rosa. Goes for three of his own, but that's going to bounce off the front of the rim. Sanders Quick pass to Rosa, quicker pass to Riles, and that shot's up and no good. Zach Scott on that rebound. So that's a Hawks passing it over to Rodney Johnson. Johnson ripping it back to Hawks. But John Riles picking that one off, and Riles barely tucks that one in. That's good for two. 84-58, 8:26 to go in the third. Giovanni Brown. Making it quick. Kind of made a rip around the outside of the paint going for a shot. It was no good. RJ Rosa losing possession for a split second, splitting it off to Tobias Holmes. Holmes going to let that one roll out of bounds. And it looks like that's going to be... And they're arguing Rochester arguing their case that it's their ball, but Tobias Holmes threw it in nonetheless. It's now Giovanni Brown matched up on Grandison. Zach Scott setting up a screen, and that's good for three. Tobias Holmes. There's one off to Sanders. Sanders talking to Coach Cather, telling him there should have been a foul there. Because then Grandison almost looked like he's going to block that one off, but that's good for two. Zach Scott. 22-point game, 7:21 to go in the third. Riles kind of scanning the court, no rush. And once again, we're talking about a 22-point leader. No real rush on things. RJ Rosa sets one to Grandison. Grandison's going to take a shot from right outside the paint, and that's good for two. Rodney Johnson trying to set something up. Zach Scott faked like he was going to set up for a screen. But instead shoots over Grandison. Grandison cannot block that in time. That's good for two. Tobias Holmes. And they're going to call it Tobias Holmes for the over and back violation. Yeah. All right. And while there's a timeout on the court, we'll take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. Without our sponsors, none of this would be possible, including your Greenwich Ford dealership. KS Squared Construction. Lansingburg Boys and Girls Club, the official practice location of your Saratoga Racers. NYBC Media, the reason we're broadcasting here today. PA Medical Supply. Pinnacle Roofing, hey, we've got you covered. And last but not least, for the time being, the Shot Spot Shooting Facility. Do you suck at the free throw line? I know I do. For people like me, for people like you, Shot Spot. Get good. 86, 64, 6, 35 to go in the third. This timeout is coming to a close. Head coaching staff from Rochester looking for some clarification from the officials. It's Rodney Johnson going to be the one to throw it in. John throw it in, inbounded by Giovanni Brown. Brown to Scott. Tried to find an open jam, but Wes Holmes got a hand on it. Giovanni Brown, that shot goes up, and that shot's so good. Rebounded by Grandison. Grandison passes it off to RJ Rosa. Rosa's going to drive up the middle, and nothing happens there as he goes to kind of looks like a like a predecessor to the skyhook there, but it doesn't go in. Rodney Johnson going to take a shot from beyond the arc. Also no good. Grandison once again on the rebound. And here we see the human tree himself, Todd Spotswood, check back in. Rodney Johnson by his homes. Getting very physical. As Johnson was answering yelling for the foul that ultimately did not get called. Houston Hawks with the ball. And RJ Rosa picking that off. He's going to dish that to John Riles. And that was no good. Just could not have. It looked well coordinated, but no luck. As Giovanni Brown finishing that 20-point game with 5:20 to go. Tobias Holmes finding an open Rosa. Tried throwing it to an open spot for it in coverage. But no luck. So it looks like Donovan Williams. Tom Williams is going to be checking in for John Riles. Pardon for Rosa. So that Spotswood with the ball, and that's stolen. Well, stolen by Rochester. That 3-point shot goes up, it's no good. Hitting off of one of the guide wires to the basket. So it's called out of bounds. Tobias Holmes flipping up to Donovan Williams. Williams paired up with it looks like George Graham just ran into a brick wall, which he basically did. That was brutal, no matter what way you look at it. But quick on the return there. As Williams giving it to Sanders. Sanders giving it back to Williams. Simon Williams shot was up and no good. Spotswood on the rebound. In the seam. They're going to call that a jump ball. Possession. And possession's going to favor the Ballers. Giovanni Brown trying to make something happen. Jason Hawks went for something behind the back. They're called Joey Harden on the travel. It's George Graham just getting all up in his grill. Not for the travel. Brown. Give that off to Johnson. Back to Brown. Back to Johnson. Tree pattern there. It's Ryder Johnson to take a shot up from just down the paint, and that's good for 2. Now, Joey Harden. Now it looks like Joey Harden looks like once again being called. It says once again Joey Harden being called for travel again. A little bit of miscommunication there. John Riles coming in for Joey Harden. Giovanni Brown took it off to Scott. Scott to Johnson. Johnson to Hawks. Back to Scott. After a little bit of fun, flashy passing, the Rochester Royals get themselves some more points. Now, 15-point game with 3:28 to go in the quarter. And Donovan Williams. Donovan Williams getting some points for the race there. Nice smacking right off the back of the glass. George Graham to Brown to Scott to Rodney Johnson. Rodney Johnson giving it back to George Graham. George Graham looked like he was about to shoot. And that shot goes well over the basket. That's Tobias Holmes. Hit with the spin move there in transition. Tries to pass it off to Spotswood. And while we have this media timeout, take a brief second once again to thank our sponsors. Without them, none of this would be possible, including Stewart Shops. Great dairies, excellent ice cream, award-winning flavors all across the board. Stewart Shops. You can find them anywhere in the 518. Hotel Trilogy. Some hotels have sequels. Then there's Hotel Trilogy. Adirondack Orthodontics. Your place for dental treatment in upstate New York. Adirondack Orthodontics. BBL Hospitality for anything you might need regarding the hospitality. BBL is your guy. As that timeout appears to have concluded. Those of you just tuning in, I'm Brett Porter with NYVT Media. We're covering your Saratoga Racers on day 2 of the MLK Classic, taking on the visiting Rochester Royal Ballers. Racers dropped one to the Buffalo Extreme last night, losing to the number 2 ranked Buffalo Extreme by 8 points. Now up 17 with 3 minutes to go in the third. Diamond Williams dish it off to Sanders. Sanders to Holmes. As Holmes finding Spotswood. Spotswood. And looks like there's a bum. Yeah, it's like they call Zach Scott for a personal foul. But it's hard to see what it was from over here. That's why it's almost inbounded by Spotswood. And Spotswood being triple teamed. And in triple coverage goes for a shot, but that was no good. So now Giovanni Brown charging up the paint. The fast break. Brown with possession once again. Tried to float one up, but no good. Gets his own rebound, dishes it off to Zach Scott. Zach Scott tried just to move into the paint. Giovanni Brown left all alone, goes for a 3. That shot's no good. That is inbounded by John Riles. Rebounded, by John Riles. John Riles finding Shaheem Sanders. And then back to Riles. Sanders flying right into the paint, floats it up. That's good for 2. And Zach Scott dishing it off to Giovanni Brown. Giovanni Brown, once again, unprotected from that corner, going for the 3, and once again, no good. Riles on the rebound, giving up to Donovan Williams. Williams now, he's driving up the paint. Tobias Holmes, you figure like he has all day, and he does. That's good for 3. And Tobias Holmes. And after it seemed like the Racers were fizzling for a second, for a split second, it looked like they just had the sizzle, but they had the steak too. And Jason Hawks with the Ballers responding with a 3 of his own, and John Riles wants to get on the action, and that's good for 3. Yes. And with that, and Rochester is going to call a timeout. 57.7 seconds to go in the game. Saratoga Racers up 96 to 74. So we'll take a quick second to thank a couple of our sponsors before we bring in the end of the third quarter, including your Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram dealership of Clifton Park. If you're interested in Chrysler Jeep Dodge or Ram vehicles, hit them up. DeAndrea's Pizza. I just had a slice earlier, and I'm a fan, and I bet you would be too. DeAndrea's. Franklin Hospitality Group. G&S Printing. And Greenwich Ford. And last but not least for now, KS Squared Construction. For all of your general needs, if you need maybe some kind of general contracting kind of stuff, KS Squared could be your people. So that timeout comes to an end. 57 seconds to go in the third. Racers holding on to a pretty comfortable 22-point lead. Still plenty of basketball left, so you never ever want to rule anybody out, as we've all seen before. And after the timeout, Giovanni Brown thrown in, inbounded by George Graham. Graham back to Brown. Goes through the legs of Zach Scott, but Zach Scott still recovers it. Finds it open George Graham, and George Graham going up for a three, and that's up and good. George Graham staggering that pretty soon after the timeout. Tobias Holmes handing it off to John Riles. Riles going to make a drive up. Does a little bit of a Euro step there. That's good for two. Jason Hawks. Hawks trying to make something happen. Maybe get one more score in the quarter. Giovanni Brown looks like he's about to make something happen. Steps back. No good. We got 8 seconds left in the quarter. Shot clock no longer relevant. Tobias Holmes being matched up pretty good. And still gets that shot up, but it's no good. So very good blocking by number 13, Chelsea Hoyt. But at the end of 3 quarters for Buffalo, your Saratoga Racers. It's been a long weekend, guys. We got 1 quarter left, separating us from the third day off. Our Saratoga Racers 98, Rochester Royal Ballers 77. Wow. 12 minutes of basketball left. 12 minutes to figure out who ends up leaving winner of day 2 of the MLK Classic. RJ Rosa will pass inbounded by Tobias Holmes. And that's immediately picked off by Brown, Giovanni Brown. And he's going to get blocked by John Riles. But that's going to get Brown 2 at the free throw line. That's John Riles' fifth foul of the game. First one's good. And Giovanni Brown, second one's up. And that's so good. Shaheem Sanders on that rebound. Just immediately off to Tobias Holmes. And that's off the foot of Giovanni Brown. That's going to be Saratoga ball. RJ Rosa with a shut up. And that's no good, you think. Oh, it was looking so pretty in the air until it hit the rim that turned out to be deceiving. Zach Scott passing off to Hoyt. Back to Scott. Hoyt looked like he was going to go for a drive, but hits him with a spin move. Getting past both Shaheem Sanders and Todd Spotswood, but that ball's going to be out of bounds. And immediately off the rip. Would you look at that? It's the bias. Oh, hurling it across the court to an open Shaheem Sanders. Good for two. Racers officially hit triple digits. John Miles trying to block. Number 14, Roger Johnson was able to get past John Miles. John Miles, not necessarily a big guy in terms of basketball, but still a 6'5" forward out of St. Joseph's. Passing that off Spotswood to RJ Rosa. And it looks like he was going for Tobias Holmes, but Rodney Johnson picks that one off. And on the fast break, it's down. All right, and that team's going to be taking a timeout. Just want to, in case anyone is just showing up here, to those who keep the score at home, this is Brett Porter coming to you live from Spot Catholic High School as your Saratoga Racers take on the Rochester Royal Ballers. Currently an 18-point game. Racers with 100, Royal Ballers 82. Eric Picard is the man with the plan behind the camera and also keeping score, making sure this broadcast goes crisp, smooth, so fresh, and so clean. 10:39 to go in the game. Racers just need to hold on to an 18-point lead. Riles. Just as that too, RJ Rosa. Rosa. The quick pass to Sanders. Sanders should set up for a screen there. Hands it off to Riles. Riles to the human trees. Todd Spotswood. Spotswood hands it off to Rosa. It's so good. But Sanders, once again, just popping it back in. It's kind of a signature move at this point, as he has been on top of these rebounds, just tapping them in when they go off of the rim. Spotswood on George Graham. Talk about a misdirection. Giovanni Brown, once again, left uncovered for a three, but once again, does not make it. Riles. Riles trying to get past Giovanni Brown. Brown smacks that out of bounds, and it's going to be Saratoga ball. And Zach Scott immediately gets somehow runs past Todd Spotswood, goes to that three. That three was up and no good. Riles trying to save possession as the ball goes out of bounds, but that looks like that's going to be Rochester ball. Zach Scott to throw it in. Zach, a little bit of miscommunication for the ballers. Todd Spotswood coming down with the rebound. Nearly Jumps back and flies home. That's good for two. Zach Scott, once again, getting dished to the rock. Shooting it almost from almost right under rim. John Miles now in possession for the Racers. Finds it open Rosa. They're call that out of bounds. It's going to be Royal Ballers basketball. Zach Scott inbounded by Giovanni Brown. George Graham, after it looks like it went off the foot, George Graham recovers. And he's going to march up. And that's no good. That's rebounded by number 35, Joey Harden. Harden back in the game. And that looked like a rough fall to ever was. So number 22, Elijah Nisbet, 6'7" forward out of Hudson Valley. That did not look good. Elijah Nisbet. We get two from the line. First one's up, first one's good. We're calling him Bambi from the sideline. Did they get him again? It looks like they got him again in motion. And Elijah Nisbet again. As the Saratoga Racers sideline cheering on Bambi, they call him. First one is up and good. Let's see what Bambi's got in the tank for the second one. Well, it just goes to show you the kind of nicknames you can get from being on any team. Anyway, when I wrestled way back in college, 10 years ago, my nickname was Bear Paw. I couldn't tell you why. Never found that out. Donovan Mitchell. She keeps saying Donovan Mitchell, Donovan Williams. Doing some high flying acrobatics, trying to stop any passes from being made. And Rochester Royal is going to be taking a full timeout. So we'll take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. Without them, we couldn't be putting on the broadcast we have today, including the Lansingburg Boys and Girls Club, the official practice location of your Saratoga Racers. NYVT Media, hey, it's us putting on the broadcast, isn't it? PA Medical Supply. Pinnacle Roof Incorporated, hey, we've got you covered. And the Shot Spot Shooting Facility. You trying to work on that mid-range jumper? Try the Shot Spot Shooting Facility. It's 22-point game. 8 minutes, 27 seconds left. You can tell that the game is going heavily in favor of the Saratoga Racers because Coach Bob Catherwood isn't screaming at the top of his lungs at this point in time. Bob Catherwood wrapping a mustache very similar to that of a state trooper or Tom Selleck. So those of you who are fans of Blue Bloods or other Tom Selleck classics. But George Graham throw in. And Donovan Williams get in the way. And RJ Rosa comes down with that Hail Mary attempt as Isaiah Grandison goes up, and that's good for two. Isaiah Grandison back in the game, making a spark. Donovan Williams with a steal from out of nowhere, like a Randy Orton RKO. As Donovan Williams passing it off to RJ Rosa. Rosa trying to make something happen. Quick little jumper. And Rodney Johnson's going to come down with that, passing it off to Giovanni Brown. Brown Marching up the paint, marching out of the paint. Looked like he was about to pass off George Graham, but doesn't. As Rodney Johnson flips one up, and that's good for three. RJ Rosa whipping off to Harden. Harden to Donovan Williams. Donovan Williams finds RJ Rosa. That's up, and that's good. That's good for three. RJ Rosa, good for three. You know, at times I feel like I'm competing with the PA. Oh, that's good for three, too. What am I? So another one. It's 2 threes in a row from Rodney Johnson. But sometimes I feel like I'm competing with the PA guy, and I know that it's not the case whatsoever. It's consequential. But but I feel like we're both trying to be entertaining and still put on a good podcast. I mean, this guy's pretty good at what he does. Didn't get a chance to check his name. Although I did receive a compliment from Tim Drawbridge once upon a time, but that's irrelevant for what we're doing here. It's Joey Harden. Behind the back to Isaiah Grandison. Grandison. Rosa, that's good for another two. 6:47 to go. Racers with a 25-point lead over the Ballers. As George Graham spinning up. And are they gonna give him the charge? Saratoga Racers taking timeout. So let's take a quick second and thank a couple of our sponsors while Coach Bob Catherwood gives a verbal lashing to the officials. They're smiling it off. They're doing better. But of course, Stewart Shops, world-class dairy and award-winning ice cream. Stewart Shop. Hotel Trilogy. Look out for Hotel Single, Hotel Double, Hotel Trilogy. Book in for your next stay. Adirondack Orthodontics. For anything to do with dental care, Adirondack Orthodontics. BBL Hospitality. And your Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram dealership of Clifton Park. 6:40 to go in this contest. 25-point deficit. George Graham to get some shots from the free throw line. George Graham's first shot is up and good. And George Graham's second shot up and good. Donovan Williams, big double covered. Finding an open Grandison. Isaiah Grandison from beyond the arc. And that three, no good. That's rebounded by Giovanni Brown. Giovanni Brown finding an open Jason Hawks. Jason Hawks shot no good. Doesn't even make it to the basket. Joey Harden dishing it off to RJ Rosa. And that's up, and that's no good. That's rebounded by Grandison. Grandison passes it to RJ Rosa in the paint under the basket. Gets his own rebound at first. It looks like George Graham ended up with possession. George Graham marching up. And on that fast break, that's good for two. Second. That's just answering a little bit of confusion from between the officials and the front desk. Joey Harden throw it in to Grandison. Grandison dishing it back to Joey Harden. Harden to Rosa in motion. Nisbet looked like he was going to rebound that. No good. That's Giovanni Brown. Dishing it off to Rodney Johnson in the paint. And on that goal. They're called Donovan Williams for his third foul of the game. Jason Hawks now. Throw it in. That's going to be inbounded by Isaiah Grandison, actually, picking it off. Finding an open Williams. Nice passing. It's Donovan Williams finding an open RJ Rosa. And RJ Rosa! That's good for another three. You could write a movie on this. Instead of how Stella got her groove back again, it'd be how RJ Rosa got his groove back again. This doesn't quite sound like a good box office title. But RJ Rosa finally kind of looks like he's shaking off a little bit of rust we didn't think he had. It's Grandison inbounding that one too, Joey Harden. Harden off of the face of Zach Scott, off RJ Rosa to Elijah Nisbet. Nisbet's going to miss. Donovan Williams gets a hand on it, but not enough as close bounds. Keep in mind, Donovan Williams has some impressive ups for being the 6-foot guard out of Columbia Green. That guy has got some ups if there ever was any. That George Graham, inbounded by Giovanni Brown. Brown whipping it off to Rodney Johnson. Rodney Johnson goes up for a three, and that's so good. It's off the left side of the rim. Harden now in possession. Giovanni Brown trying to maybe knock something loose. And he does. And he's got that fast break. He's got that shot, and that's up, and that's good. That's another two for the Rochester Royal Ballers. Tobias Holmes quick on the draw, throwing it into Sanders, who immediately gives it back to him. Tobias Holmes being double teams. Finds RJ Rosa, finds an open RJ Rosa, and he scores once again. That is RJ Rosa on the three. With 4:19 to go in the game, your Saratoga Racers are currently holding a 25-point lead, 121 to 96. There's Giovanni Brown going to get some shots at the line. First one's up, first one's good. And 2 for 2 on that set. Trying to answer a little bit of misdirection going on there. Confusion from all sides of the court. As George Graham casually marching it. Oh, getting some steps in. RJ Rosa, not a man known for racking up fouls. Gets his second of the game. Brian Johnson, it's inbounded by Giovanni Brown. Brown parting the sea. That's good for 2. Ballers officially break triple digits. That ball's immediately thrown out of bounds. Through the legs of the official. Giovanni Brown now marching up. Brown stepping back behind the key. And that three's up, and that's good. Giovanni Brown on the three. Like Zay Grandison now. Making a march. Quick flick to Harden. Harden to Tobias Holmes. And he's going to put one up. Banks it off the glass. That's good for 2. As Johnson marching up the middle. Reese Williams looked like that one was a shoo-in, but no luck. And Shaheem Sanders limping a little bit. That shot was off of off the corner of the rim, bounces off perfectly. George Graham. George Graham capitalizing on a hurt Sanders. That's another 2 for Rochester. Tobias Holmes. Effectively was double team there. Sanders in motion. When Tobias Holmes loses control of the ball, can't reel it in time. That's out of bounds. That's going to be Rochester ball. 2:51 to go in the game. Racers hold on to a 17-point lead. Now a 15-point lead. 123 to 108. 2:43 to go in the game. All right, we're going to redirect you to Coach Bob Catherwood talking to his team while we thank some of our sponsors for helping make this whole broadcast possible. DeAndrea's Pizza. Great, darn good pizza. It's available at our concession stands. DeAndrea's in Saratoga. Franklin Hospitality Group. G&S Printing for all your printing needs. And Greenwich Ford. And last but certainly not least, KS Squared Construction. If you have a project you've been trying to get done, KS Squared Construction. Shout out to them. 15-point game, 2 minutes, 43 seconds to go. 2 minutes and 43 seconds separating the Racers from winning day 2 of the inaugural MLK Classic. The Rochester Royal Ballers still maintaining a very close game, especially knowing, once again, an 8-man roster. Slice home. Pass it to Donovan Williams. Williams. It's up and no good. Jason Hawk. His Hawks took a nasty spell. It's going to be his 4th foul. Donovan Williams taking some shots from the line. Donovan Williams' first shot is up. Brick City, population M for that one. Second one is up and second one is good. Giovanni Brown. Trying to make something happen. Finding Graham, but Graham's 3 up and no good. Graham again under the rim gives it. Zach Scott making a 3-point play there. It looks like they're officially. Jason Hawk sending the Racers to the line. Now, oh no, not even sending them to the line. We're not in bonus territory yet. Looks like may have tried to stop them on the fast break because John Riles, less than 10 on the shot clock, finds Donovan Williams. We got 5 seconds to go. Is Harden. Back to Williams. Williams. as James Sanders and the coaching staff from Rochester having a quick laugh. And after that shot clock violation, going to be Jason Hawks throwing in. No, it's Zach Scott, excuse me, throwing that one in. George Graham now with possession. Switching it to Scott, to Brown. Brown's 3-point tap was up and no good. That's going to be out of bounds. Saratoga ball. And immediately to Riles. And as the ball goes out, as both sides pleading their case, as if it isn't a 13-point game with a minute to go. Giovanni Brown floats another one up. 11-point game, a minute 14 to go. Twice off the double team picked off by George Graham. As Rodney Johnson's got a shot for 3. That's up, that's no good. Rebounded by Hart. But ends up in the hands of Giovanni Brown. And that's good. That's a good for a 4-point play. This is now a 7-point game with 57 seconds to go. Those of you just tuning in, sorry, you missed the first 47 minutes of this game. Saratoga Racers clinging on to a 7-point lead against the Rochester Royal Ballers. At one point, had as high as a 26-point lead. 57.1 seconds left in the game. 57.1 seconds separating winner from loser. And after Saratoga Racers dropping the first of the 2-day MLK Classic to the Buffalo Extreme, trying to salvage the weekend. Rochester Royal Ballers. It's going to be Rochester today. Well, it is in fact going to be Saratoga ball as RJ Rosa to throw it in. Finds Harden back to Rosa. RJ Rosa marching up. A little bit of heat going on there between Jason Hawks and RJ Rosa. 'Oh, Giovanni Brown picking that one up. Harden immediately picking it back up. Shots up and shots so good. 34 seconds to go. In motion, Giovanni Brown on the 3. That's no good. Painting right off the rim. Once again, no good. RJ Rosa on the rebound. John Riles has it. 22.2 seconds to go. And now that we're in bonus territory, it looks like. No, we are not in bonus territory yet. I have misspoken. But it is Saratoga ball. Donovan Williams throwing it in to Riles. That's gonna be Rochester ball. 19.7 seconds to go. 7-point game. There's only 2 possessions. Technically speaking. And the first shot's up, and shot from Giovanni Brown's up and good. Five-point game. 14.2 seconds to go. Rochester bench getting very heated right now. Coach Catherwood and the rest of the roster getting a little irritated. As I said earlier, at one point there was a 26 point lead. The Racers have have slowly let the Royal Ballers slip back into the conversation. .2 seconds to go. RJ Rosa throw it in. That's going to be inbounded by Riles. So he moves the basketball. Moves the basketball down the stairs. And now we are officially in bonus territory. John Ryle. John Riles too. Oh, kid is too. Riles first shot up and good. And second shot is up. Wait a second. Misread that. Second shot's up. Second shot's good. This is a Donovan Williams getting a little heated there. 10.9 seconds to go. Royal Ballers down 7. And Williams looked like he's about to pick it off, but Giovanni Brown getting his hands on that. That's going to go out of bounds. 3.6 seconds to go. At this point, just a formality, barring something absolutely. And there you have the Saratoga Racers. Managed to finish with just enough left in the tank to take out the Rochester Royal Ballers, 126 to 119. We got some marquee performances from the bench this game that we didn't really see much of yesterday. Todd Spotswood managing to put up 10 points compared to his 0 from the game before. And the rest of the bench, Nisbet, Williams, Smart Joseph, many members of the bench actually getting some meaningful playing time and still managing to win by 7. And that just about does it for the inaugural MLK Classic from Spa Catholic High School. Brett Porter with NYVT Media, thank you so much for tuning in. And we will see you in a couple weeks when we get ready to close out the season of ABA basketball. Until then, have fun, be safe. Don't drink and drive. If you need someone,